Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled Planning Commission of October 28th. If we could have a Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Fresco to help us with that, please. If everyone could stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it. With that, we'll have a roll call.
Commissioner Fresco?
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton?
Here.
Commissioner Lambert?
Here.
Commissioner Raskin?
Here.
Commissioner Tolkien?
Here.
And Chair Reese.
Present. Moving on in our agenda, the first item is the Planning Director's report.
There we go. Good evening, Commission. Before I start, I just want to welcome Jane back to the dais. So she's been back about a month or so, but this is your first meeting, so yeah. So
Welcome back.
anything about Lincoln? They'll put you on the spot.
I'll share photos later if you want. You guys have been really busy, and I want to thank Roxanne for the guidance she's provided to the division, to the commission. Just catching up on everything that happened over the last 6 months has been incredible. So very happy to be back.
Well, we're happy to have you, and we appreciate you training Roxanne so well to move it smoothly in your absence.
Absolutely.
Baby pictures. Just saying.
So coming up at your next meeting, well, November 1st is canceled. And then November 15th, there's a permit extension at 1318 Lincoln. It's a mixed-use project. Discussion on SB 35 objective design standards and a study session on reduced setbacks for electrification equipment. That's coming from the Office of Sustainability staff. Then December 6th, a study session on concepts for objective design standards. City Council actions. On September 26th, the Council extended the IZO for Promenade Economic Recovery. So those are, it's an ordinance that addresses restaurants, different types of entertainment uses, just makes it much easier for those uses to open on the promenade. That you don't require conditional use permits anymore. So we have actually got a lot of interest from potential tenants in response to those changes. So it seems to be working. Not a lot, obviously it's happening yet, but we are hearing a lot from people looking. And then upcoming at City Council on October 24th, there is an interim zoning ordinance to allow the two approved medical cannabis retailers to convert to adult use. So one of those is already opened at 925 Wilshire, and then the other one at 1416 Wilshire hasn't opened yet. But the ordinance would allow those two to be converted to adult use. And then November 14th is the appeal of 2668 Second Street CUP. So that's a project the commission saw, it's been a while now, like maybe a year or so, or several months, yeah. But that was, if you recall, project at Second and Hill Street for a ground floor grocery store with, I think, 2 units upstairs. And the CUP was for the market with alcohol sales, and that's been appealed. Then upcoming public workshops, October 26th, a virtual workshop on concepts for objective design standards. And then October 30th, we'll have a virtual town hall to explain the relationship between the AHPP and state density bonus law. And then we'll have a follow-up in-person meeting on the same topic on November 8th. Those two meetings, the 30th and November 8th, are in response to council direction to have a meeting to explain to the public exactly how the new zoning standards interplay with the AHPP and state density bonus, and just kind of what that can result in. So we were directed to try to do a hybrid meeting, but we really can't do that from a technology perspective. So instead, we're doing one in-person meeting and then one online meeting, but they'll have the same content. And that concludes my report.
Great. We have at least one question for you, Commissioner Lambert.
Are the public workshops hosted by us or the city council or both or nobody?
It's staff, right?
They're hosted by planning staff.
I'm sorry?
Planning
Finance
staff.
Okay, cool. The other question I have, I several weeks ago understood that we had submitted our first annual performance report to HCD for the RENA compliance. Is that true?
Well, it was submitted in April.
I can't hear you.
It was submitted in April.
And I asked for a copy and I never got it. So would it be possible for me to get a copy of that?
Yeah, they're actually posted on, so it's actually submitted online and HCD publishes the APRs for every city online. We're happy to send you a link. There's not an easy way to extricate, like if you're looking for like a booklet, you know, like a hard copy of.
Well, I'll just go, I thought of going through the HCD site, so maybe should I just do that?
Yeah, we're happy to send you the link or a link to the commission so you kind of know where to find the information on where the housing data is uploaded.
Okay, the other question is, are we okay or are we subject to SB 35 right now?
So we are subject to SB 35 for projects that include 50% affordable housing. And that is, essentially probably will be like 100% affordable housing
I'm sorry, I'm
projects.
having a really hard time hearing you. I'm sorry. I
sure.
forgot my hearing aids.
So we are subject to SB 35 for projects that include at least 50% affordable housing. So we're not subject to the other bucket, which is like 10%. So we are not subject to that because we are meeting our targets for market rate units. And we have quite a healthy pipeline of market rate units, so we might be okay for a little
So
while.
if we're proceeding on SB 35 design standards, will those be transferable to SB 423 when it goes into effect?
Yeah, they will be. And again, the applicability or the use of SB 35 in Santa Monica would be just for that narrow band of, essentially affordable housing projects.
Okay, so we'll just segue into 423 when it goes into effect.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I don't see any other questions, so we appreciate your time. We'll move on our agenda. And one just for the public, I see people filling out chits, but I want to make sure everyone knows if you want to speak tonight, in the back of the room is a piece of paper we refer to as a chit. Please fill it out and drop it off with Sheila over here. And when your agenda item comes up, you'll be called. But without that chit, I won't be able to butcher your name, so please get it in. Planning commissioners, do you have any announcements yourselves? Commissioner Raskin.
Yeah, I think many people have heard about this, but tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. here in the council chambers, the Board of Equalization is going to be holding a study session on potential tax reforms to incentivize affordable housing production. Our former mayor, Tony Vasquez, is the chair of the Board of Equalization. I encourage anyone who's interested in this subject to come on out. It's, again, here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Cool.
Great, thank you. Okay, that ends item number 5. We'll move on to 6, which is public input on items not on our. Wait, did somebody else have a comment they want to
I
make?
just want to say I'm not going to be here November 16th, but is it 15th?
15th.
They know that.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to 6, public input on items not on our agenda. And I believe we have one speaker, and that would be Jerry Rubin.
Well, thanks, Chair Reese and Vice Chair Raskin and Honorable Commissioner, City staff, fellow Santa Monicans. To tell you the truth, I filled out that shit just to enforce a habit, and I don't really have any public comment. I'm just so used to doing it, I just put it down there, so I'll
Thank you, Jerry.
spare you.
It's always,
Thank you.
we like clear and concise presentations, so thank you very much. We are going to move down our agenda to this consent calendar. And we have a series of our meeting minutes, A through G, and then H is a tentative track map. And I want to just for clarification with staff, we can still leave all of this on the consent unless somebody has a pull off. And I understand there is a revised STOA out there that addressed some concerns related to comments that made by the applicant. And that's before us as well.
So yes, you could, you'll want to do ex partes on the tentative track map, right? First, for 7H.
Okay.
And if there are substantive changes to the minutes, you know, that if there are a set of minutes, those would need to be pulled for a separate vote as well.
Okay. So commissioners, I'm first going to ask for ex partes. And then after that, what I want to ask is if somebody wants to pull off meeting minutes and there are edits to it, I think you should pull it off and work with staff at another meeting and not do it tonight if there are, and then we can bring those meeting minutes back at a later date. So let's go with ex partes first. Commissioner Fresco.
None.
I think you only have to announce if you have ex partes, folks. On the track map. That's before. Let's go ahead, Commissioner Hamilton.
Okay. Yeah, I received an email from the attorney representing the applicant. I did not respond to the email, but I read what he provided.
Great. Thank you very much. Commissioner Lambert.
I received an email today from Tricia Crane from the Northeast Neighbors, sort of asking for clarification of what's it all about, Alfie. That basically we don't have renderings, et cetera. So I explained what this was. It really is just basically an airspace subdivision. We don't see renderings. We don't do design review. We don't do development review, et cetera. And I know that she had written to Mr. Furman and he responded to her as well. And I sent my emails of response to Ross as well.
Great. Thank you very much. Any other ex partes? Okay. I received that same email that Commissioner Hamilton, I think we all received that. So with that, Commission, it is in front of us, the consent calendar, and we can pull off any individual item or take them all as a whole. Commissioner Fresco.
I had some small tweaks to 7E, which I sent to staff, so maybe they can show us. Or I can just tell you what they are, whatever you want to do. They're very small. Showing would be easy because then you'll say, oh, yeah.
Right.
But they're not
So
just
I guess the
grammar.
question for staff, is it something you have readily available for the screen? Or is this something that we should take up at our next hearing?
The changes were sent to us. I think we're okay with them. If it's up to the commission how you want to handle it. Right, yeah, you could, Commissioner Fresco could read them into the record if she wanted to, and if the commission was agreeable, you could certainly vote on the changes.
Did you say I should read it into the record?
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, I have to figure out which glasses work. Hold on. Okay. So this is on page 3. Discussion, it says, the paragraph begins, discussion ensued on this item. So it's like all one sentence. But when you get about a third of the way down, I'm going to start with the word considering, which is at the end of a line. So they would, considering adopting the standard that if a site was leased within the last 3 years, then it should be excluded, protecting, and it says residents, but I think what we were trying to protect is renters in R1 zones. So that's that one. And then later in that paragraph, it said that we were talking about ensuring that unit density on R1 residentially zoned surface parking lots should not be less than SB9's maximum possible density, maintaining existing parking with housing on an A lot. So that last part, maintaining existing parking with housing, I think what we were actually discussing was the ability, providing the ability to combine existing commercial parking with parking for new housing. I think that's what we were doing, because when I read that, I didn't know what it meant, and I thought back. So it's not, I just feel like it's more of a clarification of what we were actually discussing. So,
So Commissioner Fresco is moving those changes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Does anybody have any discussion or concerns about it?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
With those changes and
With
the
those
new,
changes,
and the
right.
new STOA we saw today with the tract.
Correct.
Do we have a second? I'll second. So we have a first and a second on the entire consent calendar. We can take a vote, please.
Commissioner Fresco,
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Yes.
Commissioner Lambert,
Yes.
Commissioner Raskin,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolkien,
Yes.
Chair Reese.
Yes. Okay, moving right along in our agenda, we have nothing under item 8, nothing under item 9 or 10. We're going to move on to 11 and the public hearing, and this is public hearing 11A at 3440 Ocean Park. Case number is 23ENT-0085 and case number 23ENT-0086. These are conditional use permits. If we could get for the public's edification, what we're going to see tonight is we're going to see a staff report, and then the applicant will get up to speak. Then we'll open it up to public comment. After we get done with public comment, the applicant can come back and rebut anything they heard, and then the commission closes the hearing and discusses the item, and we have the options of approving it, denying it, or asking for more information at a later date. So with that, I'll turn to staff for
Not
the
ex parte.
Those are always important.
They are.
I am going to ask for ex parte disclosures, please.
I met with Paula Larmore and the property owner and property operator on Monday morning at 10 a.m. and walked around the site.
Great.
There were no dogs there.
Commissioner Hamilton.
I went to the site on my own. There were some dogs there. And I had a conversation with Paula Larmore as well today, just to answer questions.
Okay.
I visited the facility last Tuesday at 11 a.m. With Paula Larimore and people from Boston Properties, whose names I'm sorry I can't remember, and the owners of the dog facility, and I met a lot of dogs. And since then, I have had a number of emails and conversations with Ms. Larimore.
Commissioner Tolkien.
I went to the site, went around the area, and I've got some impressions from it. I haven't talked to anybody.
Great. Thank you.
I've seen all the emails.
Just a couple. Commissioner Raskin, Vice Chair Raskin.
Yeah, I met with Paula Larmore and the applicant team last Wednesday, and we discussed the project. Oh, and I met at the site.
Okay. I have been by the site on my own and got to experience the facility, and then I also had a conversation today for about 5 minutes with Ms. Larimore about the project. With that, I think it was the end of our ex partes, and we'll turn back to staff.
Okay. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is David Ng. I'm the case planner for this project number 23 ENT-0085 and -0086 at 344 Ocean Park Boulevard. This property, highlighted in blue, is located in an almost 230,000 square foot parcel in the office campus zone in the Sunset Park neighborhood. The property is located at the eastern edge of the city, abutting the city of Los Angeles. Subject parcel is one of many that make up the Santa Monica Business Park. It's an office campus with approximately 1.18 million square feet of leasable floor area across 45 acres. This parcel is currently developed with a 3-story office building. There is the 1-story vacant commercial building that Dog People seeks to occupy. There's a surface parking lot and the existing temporary dog park that exists there today. This is an aerial view of the project site and surrounding neighborhood, looking south, southwest specifically. While the project site is located within an office park, the neighborhood is comprised of a range of zones and land uses, including neighborhood commercial with offices and apartments to the south. To the north. There is a single family residential neighborhood in the city of Los Angeles to the east of Centinela Avenue. The Santa Monica Airport is located to the south, and there is adjacent office campus parcels that include offices, restaurant, and a bank to the west. So Dog People is a membership-based dog park that provides dogs and their owners an enhanced experience, and this includes dog play areas, lounge areas, retail, and other amenities. They have been operating as a temporary use since April in an outdoor setting, as you see here in these photos, under an extended temporary use permit allowed under the city's Emergency Interim Ordinance 2724 for economic recovery. Subsequently, the city granted an updated temporary use permit and alcohol exemption that allowed modified operations, and this included food and alcohol service, amongst other minor operational changes, such as allowing members of the public to visit. This TUP is set to expire on October 24th, 2023, but pending approval of this CUP application, that TUP can be extended an additional 180 days pursuant to interim zoning ordinance 2754. The project before you is an application for 2 conditional use permits. The first is a CUP to allow a membership-based dog park in the OC zone to be implemented in 2 phases, and I'll elaborate on that a little bit more later. The second is to allow alcohol sales for on-site consumption via a Type 41 or Type 47 alcohol beverage control license. The applicant is requesting the option to pursue one or the other. Both allow the same type of service of beer and wine, but Type 47 also allows service of distilled spirits. Should the CUP for the community assembly use be approved, the applicant is proposing to implement build-out in 2 phases. The first phase involves maintaining almost all of the existing improvements through the city's outdoor space program permit. The applicant has submitted an application for this permit, and it's currently under review by staff. The other key improvement will be extending the height of the 6-foot fence that surrounds the property, raising it up to 8 feet tall. Here's a diagram of phase 2, and phase 2 involves establishing the use in the vacant commercial building and remodeling with an on-leash lounge area. There's a kitchen, new restrooms, and other operational support spaces. There will be a roll-up door and pass-through counter between the new indoor space and the outdoor space. As more thoroughly described in the staff report and the applicant submitted materials, this membership-based dog park will offer, as I mentioned, an enhanced environment in both indoor and outdoor spaces for dogs and their owners to recreate, lounge, socialize, and enjoy food and beverages on site. The applicant is proposing 2 sets of hours for different parts of the facility. Listed here, you see the outdoor dog park, Sunday through Wednesdays, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Thursdays through Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. They are asking for the option to extend evening hours by 1 hour, 12 times a year, maximum 3 times per month. And this is to accommodate any like seasonal or special events they may, or programs they may propose. The indoor facility, which comprises the lounge and food service areas, they are proposing hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And this will be just for indoors only. So that the facility will also have a full and limited food service menu. As part of their alcohol application, CUP application, alcohol service is only available, or is proposed to be only available during food service hours, the full menu, that is. So this project is before you today because Santa Monica Municipal Code 9.13.020 requires a conditional use permit for community assembly, which is the dog park, for the community assembly use in the office campus zone. Also, Municipal Code 9.31.040 does require a conditional use permit for ancillary sales of alcohol for on-site consumption in conjunction with food service. In your discussion of this project today, staff asked that you consider the compatibility of the community assembly use, the dog park, and alcohol service at the project site in the office campus zone and within the context of the surrounding site and neighborhood. We also ask that you consider the effectiveness of the recommended conditions of approval in minimizing any potential adverse impacts to the surrounding neighborhood in conjunction with both the community assembly use and proposed alcohol service. In Planning Commission's decision on this project, staff asks that you consider the following items listed on the slide. But to briefly summarize, we find that the project does meet neighborhood compatibility in that it occupies an existing vacant building and location of most sensitive uses are at least 100 feet away. We have proposed conditions to mitigate noise concerns, and there are additional conditions of approval for operations and maintenance. Regarding site compatibility, we believe the location within an underutilized area of service parking in the office campus is suitable for the use. Regarding parking and loading, staff has applied a 1 to 300 parking ratio instead of the more conventional 1 per 4 seats for community assembly, just given the unique configuration or rather the use of the dog park as opposed to like a church with pews and seating like that. The applicant has demonstrated that there has been a surplus of parking during their existing operations since April. And furthermore, regarding the outdoor portion, there is no parking required for the outdoor use under the outdoor use permit that they are applying for. Since their operation, there has been no records of code enforcement cases nor documented Santa Monica Police Department violations. Regarding alcohol outlets, there's only one alcohol outlet, that is the El Torito restaurant that's within the same business park. And there are no parks, religious institutions, schools, or other sensitive uses within a 500-foot radius of the site. Again, the police department has not noted any violations, and staff has found land use circulation element consistency in a number of ways, particularly with regards to providing local neighborhood services within walking distance to Sunset Park, establishing Ocean Park Boulevard as a local serving boulevard that uses that cater to the needs of the adjacent neighborhood, and also land use policy for providing a balance of uses in the neighborhood centers. So there are 8 findings required of a conditional use permit for the land use. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they're listed here. These are the remaining 3. Regarding the alcohol CUP findings, there are 4 findings. Oh, there we go. 4 findings listed here that staff was able to find that we could make the findings for. This project was duly noticed to property owners and tenants within 750 feet of the project site, and a notice was published in the Santa Monica Daily Press. As of this afternoon, the city has received at least 60 letters, I believe, of support for the project, and there have been 2 that we've received regarding expressing concern or opposition to the project. Supporters of the project generally have touched on the need for the proposed dog park and dog people's existing operations, and those in opposition have expressed some concerns about the noise impacts from ambient amplified music and potential maintenance and operational concerns, which staff believes are being addressed in the conditions of approval that before you, or in the staff report. So based on a review of the application and information in the record, staff does support the request to allow the applicant to allow the community assembly use in the OC zone, and also to provide alcohol service on this site. that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you very much. Commissioners, do we have questions at this moment? I have Commissioner Lambert first.
I just have a couple.
Vice Chair.
Is the current facility subject to the 60 decibel limit of the noise ordinance? Is that what they're under right now? So this would be a continuation of that?
Correct. The decibel level has been set at 60 for the temporary use permit.
Okay, so this would just be a continuation of what they have been under so far?
Yeah, what we're proposing is consistent with.
I can't hear you.
What we are proposing in the draft conditions approval are consistent with what was in the temporary use permit.
Okay. And there have been no complaints about noise to date, correct?
So I will note that there was a police department report about noise, but no finding of a violation based on the police report.
Just a complaint?
Yeah.
Okay, we're used to that. Okay, that's all I have for now.
Vice Chair Raskin.
Thanks. So I know there's at least one comment in the public record about pedestrian crossings across Centinela. And I understand that right now the crosswalk that goes across the intersection between Ocean Park and Centinela is being reconstructed. I'm just curious if you happen to know the answer, and sorry for springing this on you. If the city wanted to install further pedestrian crossings, so that's something that has to be done in conjunction with the city of LA?
Fortunately, I don't have the answer to that. Perhaps Ms. Yeo has more information on that.
Yeah, my understanding, I can't, don't quote me on this, but I know that parts of Centinela, like, it's a shared street between Santa Monica and LA. So in theory, yeah, the city limits, I believe, for LA go to like, I think the back of the sidewalk on Santa Monica side. So, yeah, mostly in LA, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's the only question I've got for now. Thanks.
I guess Commissioner Hamilton.
Does the city have any kind of indication about what the ambient noise is on Ocean Park Boulevard? And do we have any measurements? Because I think the 60 decibel limit was to help kind of mitigate some of that. Do we have any sense of what the noise level is on Ocean Park?
I do not have information on a baseline ambient noise level on that, in that area.
So I guess I have two questions. One is, can you talk to me a little bit about the evidence they provided on the surplus on the parking?
Sure. The property owner, Boston Properties, did provide a study that they've been conducting ever since the dog park has been in operation in April. This includes basically the vacancy or utilization rather of the parking spaces at various points of time and date. And they have the data that they've collected, it's been shown that there's been consistently a surplus of parking spaces than what the dog park would use or has been using. Would demand, rather.
Okay. I think that's all I have for right now. Thank you. Any other commission questions? No questions. Thank you very much. We'll turn to the applicant for their presentation.
Okay.
May I ask that you speak into the microphone, please, because I'm having a hard time hearing. Thank you.
Just want to first say thank you to all of you, especially David Ing and your team for putting all this work into our youth. We know that it's a first of its kind, and I'm sure it wasn't easy. And thank you to the commissioners who were able to make it to the park and swing by and check out what we're doing. We know you're busy, so we're very grateful for even this opportunity to speak today and for everyone in the audience. So we will jump right into it. My name is, yes, sir?
I wanted you to announce who you were.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to go? Yep. My name is Alex Esguerra. I'm one of the co-founders. I'd like to also introduce our land use counsel, Paula Larmore. Hi. And
Yep. And I'm Liam Underwood. I am a Santa Monica resident and co-founder of Dog People. And as Alex was saying, thank you for everyone who came out to view the space. For those of you who have not been lucky enough to come out and check us out, we have put together a small video just to showcase sort of what we do there to help paint the picture. It all began with a simple mission: to provide a safe haven for local dog lovers to connect, socialize, and bond in our mutual commitment to give dogs the best possible lives. Our journey started with an underutilized parking lot attached to a building that had sat vacant for over a decade. In collaboration with Boston Properties and the planning department of the city of Santa Monica, we were finally able to transform this incredible space. This purpose-designed location has united individuals from diverse backgrounds extending far beyond our immediate area. It has evolved into a platform for local artists, neighboring businesses, and home to our farm-to-truck kitchen, which sources ingredients from the Santa Monica Farmers Market. What initially started as a place for dogs to exercise and stimulate their senses has blossomed into a thriving Santa Monica community, of which we are exceptionally proud. Many Santa Monica residents have joined us on this incredible journey since our inception. Some walk to the park, some have become dedicated staff members, and others have even relocated homes in order to be closer to the vibrant community. We also launched a non-profit dog rescue within Dog People, collaborating with local shelters and rescues to make a difference in the lives of dogs in need. Many of these dogs are now members of the Dog People community. We deeply cherish what we've built, not only as a place for dogs to thrive, but as a sanctuary and social space for some of the most extraordinary humans we've ever met. We created a space for dogs and those who love them to flourish, a space for Dog People.
Let's try to limit the clapping. As nice as that video was.
what do we do? We do this? Is that what
We can do that.
Okay, we'll do this.
Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, cool. So I'll jump into a presentation. It'll be quick, we promise. We know you're busy. But we're made a little presentation to talk about who we are, break it down a little bit, and kind of elaborate a little bit on city staff and the plan for our 2 phases. So before and after, this is a view in the top left of the parcel. To orient yourselves, we're on Centinela and Ocean Park Boulevard. This is just a year ago. This is what the space was. The building on 3440 was the old Coco's. It's been vacant for over a decade, I think 15 years. And on the bottom right is what we've transformed it into. Our park consists of 5 pillars. We have 4 here and 5th on the next page. But at the beginning of everything, it's always been about community. That's how we met. We found each other in a dog park and realized there might be a better way to do this. And so we really try to bring people together from all walks of life, and we use dogs as the common denominator. It's something that they love being around people. They love dogs. The dogs are happier. So we really love community. That's what we're all about. The park itself, we are nerds when it comes to design and hospitality. Everything from when you walk in, you get checked in, to the seating, to the tables, to the little tiny details throughout the park. We even have lint rollers to like get the fur off of your clothes. We really care about, really upgrading this idea of what a dog park can be. And our food and beverage program is something we're really excited about. Our restaurant, like we just showed in the video, we really have a seasonal menu that tries to source all of its ingredients as best as possible from Santa Monica Farmers Market. We have a really delicious menu. You should come by and try it out. Our cafe is something we're also really proud of. We think that just because it's a dog park, why not try to have the best coffee in all of Santa Monica, Los Angeles? So we strive to have fun with that. This is our St. Patty's Lucky Charms latte that our staff comes up with every month, different holiday ideas. And then for our 5th pillar, programming is a big part of what we do. It's kind of become the vehicle to bring people together. We also created this business right out of the pandemic. We noticed that there's a huge longing for people to come together and to connect, and especially in an outdoor space. And we thought that programming would be a good way to do that. So we like to get creative with it. We do everything from fitness classes, we have wellness activations, we have a local florist that comes and teaches our guests how to make bouquets, and we have a glass of rosé, and it's just a really fun experience. We love artists. We bring artists from all walks of life into the park to host activations, to share their talents. Education is a huge part of it too. Cesar Millan actually came to our park and told us that he was never really a fan of dog parks, but after visiting ours that it changed his perception on it, and so he's a big fan of us. We love supporting local businesses. We are a small business, so we like to share the love. And dog wellness is a big part. We bring all types of specialists into the park to educate our guests on how to be good dog owners. And holidays, we're never short of ideas for holidays. It was hard choosing this picture because we had so many amazing pictures. Women's Day Marketplace, our staff put that together. We're really proud of them for that. They brought in all kinds of local vendors, female owned, and they got to show what they're all about in the park. And Mother's Day was another really fun day. I mean, we have so many. We just had to limit this.
And I want to speak to our Canine Rescue Club here. We started a nonprofit within Dog People because Dog People is all about enriching the lives of dogs, and that extends into dogs in need. So we work with local shelters, local rescues. We help dogs be seen and to help them find homes. Our employees, we started as a small little team that has grown very strong. We're super proud of them, so shout out to our team. We are very proud of what we've become internally. Cleaning, we are also behind the scenes very proud of because of how eco-friendly we are with our processes. We have a very religious schedule that, as you can see in the imagery, we use these sprayers. They are low mist output, but they use they're non-harsh chemicals, pet-friendly enzymes that we put on in the evening. It does its work overnight, and then we get a nice booster from the Santa Monica Dew in the morning.
Amazing. So we know you just heard a bit about phase 1 and phase 2 from David, and so we just wanted to kind of elaborate with some photographs to unpack that a little bit. So for phase 1, it's really two things. One is to continue existing what we're already doing. We want to continue those operations. And for the second part of it is to increase the fence height from 6 feet to 8 feet. The reason we're doing that is for safety. We've tried at 6 feet. We had a feeling that 8 feet would be better, and we've learned that some dogs are just very agile and they can jump over that fence, and we, as you can tell, love dogs, and we don't want them running into Ocean Park Boulevard. Enough said there. So this is a couple of views from the interior and the exterior. This is how we plan to extend it. We will maintain the transparency along the existing transparent fence line, and we plan to make it just as beautiful as the existing fence. This is a quick overview to kind of level set of where we are. So what we just looked at was the blue fence. That's all along Ocean Park Boulevard. We loved it so much that we actually made a nice little curve and put the logo on the outside, and then we continued it along the El Torito side. And we love it. We love it because people drive by, they walk by, especially at nighttime when you see all the bistro lights and the activity inside the park. People want to know what's inside, and it's welcoming, it's inviting, and it's really beautiful having the transparency along that property line. Next one is we'll go to the horizontal fence. This fence, level set, is if you're driving in off of Centinela entrance, you're in Santa Monica Business Park, you're not in an actual street. That fence line along the right there where all the cars are parking up against, that's our south fence. The reason that is opaque versus transparent is for a couple reasons. One, well, you can see that the cars are parked right up against there, so you can imagine that the fumes of the exhaust pipes are just inches away. The lights, all that, it's probably not the best guest experience to be sitting there having a coffee and having a car starting right next to you. But two, and probably the most important, is the safety. Again, having transparency in fences and having people right there aggravates the dogs. We've taken so many videos to prove this, but also we don't want dogs to jump over that fence as well too. So we could talk a lot about that, but all this design was intentional. It's just a short segment of the actual entire fence line, but that part is the opaque part. And then for phase 2, what we're doing here is we're creating the clubhouse. It's something we're really, really excited about. That building, like I said, has been vacant for almost 15 years. And so we're doing two parts here. One is the fence line we just talked about. It's going to continue and connect to the building. And so there won't be that fence along the building anymore. It'll just go right up to it. So they're juxtaposed together. And then what this building is going to be doing is going to be replacing the existing cafe container and food truck that we have in the park for phase 1 operations. We're taking those away, and then this new program inside this building is going to consist primarily of a retail and lounge space inside. We're going to have bathrooms. We're going to have a closed kitchen, of course, some back of house storage. And then the really exciting part is we're going to create a service counter that faces right out into the park. And this is a quick rendering to kind of show you, what it's all about. We're still working on the materiality and the design, but hopefully this gives you a taste of what you're looking at. If you're at the camera angle, to your left is Ocean Park Boulevard. If you were to pivot, you'd be looking at the actual, you'd be in the park itself, and hopefully a dog is running up to you, playing with you. And that's it. Just want to say thank you. We also want to thank again the city staff and the planning commission, our neighbors. We know some neighbors have even sent in some emails that aren't even a part of our business, and that's just really special. And also everyone in the audience, a huge thank you if you can stand up that you're in support of dog people. Thank you so much. Is that good? Okay.
Oh, and we're available for questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. Appreciate it. Commissioners, do we have questions? Anybody on this end down here first? Okay, we'll go with Commissioner Fresco, please.
Hey, I just wanted to know if you were satisfied with the red lines that staff proposed for your STOA?
Yes, with all the red lines, we are now 100% in agreement with the staff proposed conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lambert, I think you're up.
I have a couple of questions. One, I just wanted to emphasize the importance of increasing the height on Ocean Park Boulevard to 8 feet. And I think you're right, dogs could get over, coyotes can get over 6 feet, so there's no question dogs could. Is that your impression as well?
That is correct, and thank you.
In terms of special events, what exactly are you talking about? The 12 a year that we are putting in the conditions.
So seasonally, so some of our events, they do call for sort of a lower ambient and lighting. So depending on when the sun sets, we like to set, I guess you could call it setting the mood for certain events. So some of those could be wine nights. We actually have an event where we are raising awareness for the wolves at a wolf sanctuary nearby, and that requires a full moon to be in the sky. So just because it's on theme, and that's what we do. So there's certain events that we do like to have in the evening, and we only will have a short window if we were under sort of the limits that we have right now.
Are the dogs invited to these events?
Yeah, always. And also, if you're free, on Saturday, November 4th, we are bringing 50 tons of snow and filling the park with snow because we realized the Santa Monica dogs haven't had the luck of snow, and so we're building an entire winter wonderland for them.
This is absolutely unbelievable. Another question, when I was there was a foster dog or a rescued dog being trained in the dog park to kind of get along with other dogs, which I think is wonderful. Where do those dogs go at night?
So currently we're doing it at a low volume rescue, meaning that we're doing it internally. Our staff, myself, usually will foster these dogs and have them seen. But the specific dog you're talking about was actually officially adopted by our concierge, Alyssa.
Oh, cool. Very pretty dog. I think, can you explain the kind of music that you have?
Yes, absolutely. So if I was to talk in timelines linearly in the morning, it's called Downward Dog, and that is very much low tempo jazz. It's very, very relaxing. It's the morning crew that will gradually lead into sort of more of an up-tempo daytime music, and then into the night, it's a little bit more of a social playlist, but yes, adhering to the decibel limits.
How do the dogs respond to that?
Great question. So not to get too nerdy here, but specifically if we play reggae music, they respond great because it is at the same tempo as a resting dog's heart rate.
Interesting. Well, you guys think of everything. Okay, thank you.
No drums.
Can you explain a little bit more about how you clean the turf, how you keep the smell to a minimum, and not just what you do on a kind of a short-term cleaning plan, but also a long-term plan as well, in terms of like how do you care for this turf and replace it as needed. I'd like to get an understanding of that.
Absolutely.
Wait,
So
before you go down that path, because I want to follow up on, I have a very similar, so after you've cleaned, but is there urban runoff that comes off of the turf as well? So if you could put that in there.
That was my other.
absolutely. So I will speak to the construction first. The foundation of what the turf sits on is 1/4-inch gravel with no fine materials in it, which allows for maximum drainage. However, with our cleaning schedule and the low output, meaning 5 gallons throughout the whole park per cleaning session, what we find is that the runoff from this cleaning schedule actually does never make its way all the way to where the gradient of the grade of the parking lot. It seeps into the enzymes that we use seep into the sub base, and they sit there and they go to work. We do this at nighttime because UV rays will kill the enzymes and they will not eat the proteins that end up smelling. The real answer to how we keep it clean, and we get complimented on this all the time, and we are now extending this into the lobby as per our findings, is a religious schedule. We have to maintain it. We have to keep to this schedule. The more rigorous maintenance we do is removing the fur from in the blades of the grass. We do this once every 2 weeks, and then we vacuum up that fur. We also, if I could expand on it, we also send that fur to a company called, what's the name?
Matter of Trust.
A Matter of Trust, and they build mats out of hair to clean up oil spills in the ocean. We're super proud of that. We're a big supplier. And then, yeah, so there's that.
I'm not sure where to go from there. Go ahead. Do you have any more questions?
I think that answers my question. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, this is not a very critical thing, but I keep reading about and I heard about a roll-up door. And I've looked on your plans and I can't find a roll-up door on your plans.
Yeah, so right here, if you look at that black line along the Dog People logo on the wall, that right there was gonna be a roll-up door. We actually decided it might be easier to just do a closing
Slider.
door, like an accordion fold. Right there, we're just figuring out the cost analysis of what makes the most sense.
That's fine. I was just curious because it was written up, but I couldn't see it on the plans.
Yeah,
Whether it's
originally-
sliding or roll-up, it doesn't really.
It was gonna be like coming from the top down and hitting the countertop of the bar, but we realized this might make more sense because then it fully protects it.
Okay. Just to speak to that, that may still be a reality. It depends on pricing.
Yep. Value engineering. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate it. You'll get I'm sorry. We have one more question down here.
Do you control the area outside the fence for planting and stuff?
That is our landlord, Boston. They do all the landscaping exterior to us.
I just thought that maybe to break up the continuous fence as I went around it, because I know it's only 6 feet now, but maybe a little planting out there would help for, pedestrians going by.
We love that idea, yes.
But that's outside of your lease area.
That is, so when you look at the elevation from Ocean Park Boulevard and you're facing the park, there is a grade on the sidewalk from the right. So there's about 5 feet of plant life design at the very minimum. And then as it goes downhill towards Centinela, it gets much larger, up to 10 feet, and it becomes a hillside with like cacti and different plants. It's quite beautiful. So. Correct, that's Boston Properties.
Okay. We're good? Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to go get to the public, and I'm going to call 3 names, and if you come up and queue up, I would appreciate it. And again, I will apologize in the beginning if I butcher your name, but I have Chris Parker as the first speaker, Cattell Frankel, and Franz Klinkenberg. And you can come on up. You got 3 minutes?
I won't need that.
We're right at 7, so we'll go. You get 3 minutes, but if you can do it efficiently, we'd appreciate that.
Got it. All right, good evening. My name is Christopher Parker, 3-year resident of the city of Santa Monica and first-time dog owner. When asked to speak on behalf of dog people, I didn't hesitate to sign up. Now, I know what you're thinking, or maybe thinking, a members-only dog park. I thought the same thing, guys. But this place is more than that. It truly has become like a family. After visiting the park at the first location on 5th Street with my wife, we signed up and moved from LA to Santa Monica 5 months later. Dog People has truly become our sanctuary. In addition to building a community with the other local members and frequenting the local restaurants like OP Cafe and Fast Taco every other day after leaving the park, this park and routine has become our new normal. It's crazy to think. This has been a full circle moment for myself. I moved to LA 14 years ago from Ohio to attend and graduated from the Art Institute of California that is in the same plaza as Dog People. If you have told Chris Parker, the student, that I would come to the same area 10 years later as a dog owner and dress my dog up in a costume for Halloween, I would have called you crazy. But this place has become our favorite place in the world. I will end by saying Dog People has truly become our family, and Santa Monica has become our home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kaitel. I'm an employee at Dog People. I'm the safety operations manager for the park, as well as the lead referee, who are the staff, including myself, who you would have seen in some of those images, tasked with observing the dogs, picking up on the body language, preemptively diffusing situations that at the average dog park would likely escalate into an aggressive encounter between dogs, which is one of the if not the most important kind of amenity that people are buying into as part of this membership dog club. As a resident of Santa Monica myself, relatively newly, about a year or so, I can honestly say that already it's my favorite neighborhood that I've lived in. As you can hear probably in my voice, it's not the only neighborhood I've lived in. And as a transplant as well, settling in isn't always the easiest. So I can't walk a block without bumping into a member of the park. They're my neighbors. I think, maybe once upon a time there was a great icebreaker in a big city with your neighbors, and maybe that's a little trickier these days, but the dogs really make it a whole lot easier. So as someone who really feels like it's shrunk down Santa Monica for me personally to feel like a genuine community, I have plenty of friends, and like I said, my neighbors and my friends who I'm bumping into on a daily basis. My dogs have plenty of friends as well. One of them has some behavioral issues, and so through the park, having the opportunity for him to meet on a one-on-one basis more so dogs and befriend them, and have a new lease on life. Both of my dogs are rescues, and Dog People has been a huge part of their rehabilitation socially. Speaking of social dogs, having a dog and them being our perfect child at home is one thing, but if you want to be confident about them, having the social skills around other dogs as well, socialization is key. Exposure is key, and to an extent, you might find that you could be rolling the dice at a public dog park when it comes to the quality and safety of that exposure and socialization. And at Dog People, we try to cover as many of those angles and reduce as many risks as possible. So from my point of view and my dog's point of view, I'll speak on their behalf as well, Zeus and Boogie. We are extremely, extremely grateful for Dog People. And I can tell from my friends who are members of this community as well that they share the same sentiments. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you very much. Hold on a second, sir. We have one question for you.
Do you also referee between people?
More than I would like to, yes.
Because I know dog owners can be as difficult as their dogs, more so actually.
It's a good point, though, and honestly, that's something as well that we take care of to an extent at Dog People versus the average dog park, where things can become very personal very quickly, and there's certain misinformation and two quickly opposing perspectives on the situation typically, and we have that education and knowledge to be able to make things a bit more neutral, focus on the nature of the interaction as opposed to the intentions of the interactions. They are animals at the end of the day, and sometimes people need to be reminded of that to an extent. And so, yeah, as the referees, dogs first, but there is certainly an element of managing the people who own the dogs and bring the dogs to the park as well.
Great. Good luck with both of those tasks.
Thank you.
Franz, while he's walking up, Ashley Perez and Leah.
My name is Franz Klinkenberg. My wife Coco and our dogs live on the 3400 block of Santa Monica, which is a block away from the park. And in those 27 years, we have seen that corner really turn into a dead zone. And we were so happy to see what has happened on that corner. And we're really, hopefully it's going to continue, and we're excited about the restaurant opening up, or the clubhouse that they call it. It's a place that is so special. If you're blue and out, and there's lots of opportunity to be blue and down nowadays, go to the dog park. It's instantly, you feel better. And it's like, it's a wonderful place. The people are tremendous. They're friendly and they're open. As soon as you walk in the front, they're welcoming you and asking how you're feeling and so forth. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be an ordinary person with your dog. And I wouldn't know at this point what to do, what I would do without the park. It is something that is, I'm twice a day, sometimes I'm there. And our dog Sophie just loves it. And it's a simple thing, and it's wonderful. And I recommend you all go and get a dog. But I'm just amazed what these two guys have done, and my hat's off to them. It's a great idea. It's a wonderful, full-out idea. I can't even start to talk about how many wonderful things it brings in me. It brings out in me, and I so hope they get their way with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For the speakers, if you guys could make sure you speak into the mic, because the general public wouldn't be able to pick that up.
Is this close enough?
That's
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashley Perez, and I am a resident here at Santa Monica. I'm a little nervous because I don't usually speak in front of a lot of adults, mostly children. I'm in education. But I did want to come out here and really show my wholehearted support for dog people. One of the dogs that you saw that was rescued through Canine Rescue Club, their organization, was actually my dog, my second dog, Oro. And I get a little emotional talking about it because he was actually found pretty emaciated. He had acid burns on his back. He was missing fur everywhere. And through Dog People and Canine Rescue Club, they actually hosted an event to raise enough funds to get him surgery, to get him travel, to help him on his road to recovery. And I had the benefit of being able to adopt him through them. I also have another dog named Bruce. He was a rescue from the West LA Animal Shelter, and he's kind of what brought me to Dog People. We live walking distance, so it is a huge perk to be able to walk there. Not only, like Hytel mentioned, see people from around my neighborhood that are also members. We're going on walks. We're talking about when we're going to meet up at Dog People. I know that I've met a lot of great people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, including the staff. A lot of the staff members I'm actually close to, they've sat for me. They've actually trained my dogs. So it's not just finding community within the members of my community, but within the Dog People community as well. They hire great staff, and I truly adore them. So finally, I just want to close it out by saying, Dog People is definitely more than just a space for dog lovers. They host a community of events. They already called out what I was going to call out, which was the Women's Day Marketplace, which really showcased their support for a variety of local women-owned businesses. And these events not only are promoting local businesses, but also empowering female entrepreneurs like myself and contributing to our city's supportive and inclusive atmosphere. So in conclusion, I just again want to express my wholehearted support for Dog People and how they really bring us all together and provide really a place for us to strengthen our bond as a community. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
My name is Layla Sadigan. I attended Franklin Elementary, Lincoln Middle School, Santa Monica High School, and Santa Monica College. I served as a president of Santa Monica Vikings Pop Warner Football here in Santa Monica for over 12 years, and I currently own several properties residential properties in Santa Monica. I absolutely love Santa Monica, and just as much, I love dog people. Over the past 40 years of living here, I have seen many businesses come and go, some of which are great for the community. I truly believe Dog People is one of those. Dog People provides a safe, designated space for dogs to exercise, socialize, and have fun. Dog People is unique in that they require all their dog members to be spayed or neutered, provide their up-to-date vaccination records, and pass a temperament test. This in itself separates them from your average dog park. They also provide referees, which are dog referees who oversee playtime and monitor dog behavior. Santa Monica prides itself as being a safe city. I can say with certainty that Dog People is the most safe dog park in all of Santa Monica and surrounding cities, probably the most safe dog city ever. Dog People encourages responsible pet ownership and promotes a healthier lifestyle for both dogs and their owners. In addition to their many events, Dog People provides exercise classes every Sunday for us adults. Being a member of Dog People has allowed me the opportunity to meet many other local Santa Monica residents, many of which I wouldn't have met otherwise. With these new friendships, we often go out and support other businesses within the city. It allows me to connect with other dog lovers and build a sense of community. Overall, Dog People is making our city better by promoting community engagement, responsible pet ownership, a healthier lifestyle, and supporting the local economy. It is a fantastic asset that benefits both dogs and the people of Santa Monica. Thank you for your time. My dog's name is Yoshi. And he loves Dog People as much as I do. And I want to say I spend 2 to 3 hours at Dog People 6 days a week doing my work, I love Dog People.
Thank you so much. The last three speakers will be Sydney, Jerry, and is it Riyadh? This town is going to the dogs.
I'm Sydney Benyon. I'm a 30-year resident of Santa Monica and a 2-year member of Dog People. For all the reasons that you've already heard, I believe Dog People enhances Santa Monica as a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Jerry Rubin. And I'm speaking tonight as the past secretary of the Wiggles and Chubby Club. That's the club that was named after our 2 dogs when we were kids growing up in Philadelphia. And we used to camp out in the backyard and love those puppies. Well, you could see that Dog People is not only responsible, they're embracing everything with love. I can't say it any other way. Helping the environment, promoting safety, and bringing people together and doing what's best for these peace puppies. So I fully urge you to support them in what they want, encourage them. And I even got a word from my kitty cat, Sonny, says that he supports this as well. Thank you.
Cat wants your dog out of the house.
Good evening, honorable members. Commissioner Lambert, please let me know if I'm close enough to the microphone specifically. Just let me know if I'm close enough to the microphone for you. I want to make sure that you get this. I stand here in all respect, but I have to say that this is probably one of the greatest moments of my life. I'm 40 years old, and this is the first time that I attend a City Hall meeting. And being able to do it for a place as special as Dog People is nothing other than absolutely phenomenal. I have had the honor to live in many countries. I am a South African. I have lived in China for a great deal of my life, Shanghai, Beijing, Chongqing. I've lived in Portland, Oregon before moving to the great city of Santa Monica 2.5 years ago. Every city that I live in, I always make a point of finding a community, whether it's my local dive bar, my gym, or my spin studio, or now a dog park. And I can tell you, since Dog People came around, I truly feel like a fortunate person in a fortunate land. This place is nothing but an absolute godsend. I signed up to Dog People, I think 2 months before they even broke ground on their first venue, because as somebody that works in advertising, I'm supposed to know a good idea when I see it, and I knew a good idea right when I see it. And I hope that today you can not just see that this is a good idea, but this is a phenomenal idea. An idea that truly reaches out and builds community, builds people, and creates family where family has not yet existed in a long time. I'm a proud owner of English Springer Spaniel that has now also become the de facto face of trivia nights at Dog People. Every Tuesday that there is a trivia night, I get text messages from my friends telling me how famous I am because we're both featured in this email. And every time it happens, I am so honored, not just because I am an egotistical maniac, but because I feel like I am part of a community that truly, truly does such good. Since my time moving to Santa Monica, two things have made me feel at home here. KCRW, which is probably the greatest radio station in the world, in my opinion, and a true bastion of Santa Monica, and the next being Dog People. And I feel just like KCRW, Dog People is a true unifier, a true celebration. I thank you so much for your time. It's truly, truly an honor to speak to you today. And again, seconds left. I'm going to make the most of it. Thank you guys so much. I love everything about you.
Wow. Very good. Thank you very much. Those are the end of our public comments. And now the applicant can come back and can defend themselves against those statements.
Is it on? Oh, it's
Yeah.
on. I was crying, so that was really beautiful. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to begin. Like, Liam and I have put our whole life into this thing, so thank you.
So this would be a good time. If there's anything in the STOA that you're not comfortable with, let us know, because we're going to close the public comment and deliberate.
We're good, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing, which was probably one of the more interesting, uplifting hearings I've been in Santa Monica in a long, long time. With that, I'd like to see if there's any questions. Anybody want to lead with a motion? Commissioner Fresco?
I would like to make a motion, to approve this, but I would like to add one small condition, which has to do with the safety of the humans as well as the dogs, which is that I would like the fence that is on the interior of the property to be 50% transparent above 5 feet and not all the way to 8 feet opacity or even to the 6 feet. It needs to be a little lower. I'm worried about people coming in and out late at night with their cars in that dark interior space and not having eyes on them. I discussed this with the applicant when I was on site, and they were concerned about the headlights disturbing the dogs and the dogs seeing each other. So that's why I thought about it and felt that 5 feet would be sufficient to prevent that, but allow people to be able to be seen by the people on the inside and provide more safety.
I have a question, please.
So my motion would be to approve the application with a condition that the fences would be transparent and that 50% transparency and the existing fence would be transparent above 5 feet.
We need a second to discuss that.
I see a lot of excitement over my thought.
I want to know, may I just say one thing? I want to know the connection between that and the CUP.
Okay, no.
Okay. All right.
Unless somebody's going to second that, we're not going to discuss that. So I'm not here in a second, so I'm going to ask somebody else to make a motion.
I would revise my motion since I'm getting no support to just approve the application as is.
Do we get a second on that?
What did she do?
She took back her amendment that we were uncomfortable with, and she was just approving asking to approve the project.
All three of the actions?
All three of the actions.
I second that.
We have at least 2 seconds, so between Commissioner Lambert and Commissioner Hamilton. I have a question over here, a comment. Vice Chair Raskin.
Yeah, it's not a question, but two things I'd like to discuss with everyone. The first is with respect to the restriction on the number of special events. First of all, I don't think we should be restricting it to 12, much less at all. I mean, I suppose we could have a number, but I certainly don't think that there should be any restriction on the inside part of it. You know, if the logic is to address neighborhood noise concerns, there's absolutely no logic at all to restricting the number for the indoor portion. And I don't really see the logic to restricting it in the outdoor portion either. I mean, it's right next to an airport. I would like, this is special condition 3. I would just like to get rid of the number just get rid of the restriction on the number of special events that they can have. You know, this is obviously a great community serving use. People love it. Let's not hold them back. Let's not, prevent this.
That's friendly.
I'm fine with that. Are you fine with that? We'll co-seconds.
Okay, and then the second.
No, go ahead. I want to discuss it a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, the second issue I wanted to bring up was just the hours of operation. I understand from talking to the applicant team that they don't really, if we were to extend the possible hours of operation, they still wouldn't stay open longer just because it's part of their business model. But I worked on that street for many years at an office building across from Clover Park, and that street was dead. Absolutely nothing to do late at night. No light, no nightlife. I think that, looking forward prospectively, I think we should give them the option to stay open later. I think it would benefit the community, would benefit the street. I think we should at least, and I forget what hours they have exactly, it's condition 2, but just put into the conditions that they could stay up into, let's say, midnight if they wanted to. I don't think that's going to be a significant difference on how it affects the community. They're still going to have to comply with the noise ordinance. Let's just give them some more flexibility.
I wouldn't want to be out there getting in my car at midnight on the other side of an 8-foot opaque fence. I'm just saying.
Are you fine with that or not?
I think it's a little scary. I mean.
The fence or the time?
The dogs will defend folks.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying until midnight?
I said that arbitrarily.
They asked for 11. I mean, that's.
If it's a resounding success, folks, there is a market for late night activity in Santa Monica that's being unmet. There's absolutely nothing to do on the street late at night. Let's give them the option.
I could go for that because I don't think they would do it, but at least they have the option.
Right. Well, let's pick a time and talk about that. Is 10? I mean, Sunday, they're saying right now, Sunday through Wednesday, they're closing at 8, and it's Thursday through Saturday at 9. Are we talking about extending it to 10?
Well,
I'm really comfortable with that, but we start getting further than that.
I mean, not to make things more complicated, but there's a caveat in the condition that says that you can extend the hours of operation for special events. Mm-hmm. If we're not going to put a cap on the number of special events, I think we should just have a standard closing time. I would look if y'all are comfortable doing midnight. I would push for that. At least in the indoor, there's what's to worry about. If they want to stay open later, just let them do it.
I don't have any problem with them staying open later. They haven't asked for that condition, but if we want to grant it to them, I would, if they had asked for it, I would not have said no. Let's put it that way.
And I think having lights on in that corner till midnight would be really great from a safety standpoint.
Actually, if you want to talk about safety, I think having more eyes on the street in an activated street corner is actually a safer alternative than blank space. So if we want to frame it in terms of safety, I think it would make that corner safer to have people there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I want to make sure I really understand. We're saying, on 2, we're just saying 12 o'clock PM, you're opening. And then on 3, are we saying eliminate the special events? That's what I'm hearing.
The number of special events.
Yeah, the restriction on the number of special events. And just to be
Number are
clear,
the
12 midnight.
times, because now I'm confused. Can you tell us what condition number it is?
It's 2 and 3. We're
Okay.
Can I just offer some, perspective on
please.
the special event condition for 3? So I think it is important to keep that like an allowance for special events, because condition 1, this is a community assembly use. The use classification of community assembly is very broad, right? And so that condition is very specific that this is a membership-based dog park. It doesn't turn into outdoor convention center, whatever it is, right? So it's not just like a generic CUP. So it's specific that it's a dog park, and I think that 3 would allow them to conduct special events that might be different than that, but you still want the special events to comply with the conditions of the CUP. So we would suggest, if I think what you're asking is like without the limitation, that special events may be conducted and shall comply with all conditions of CUP, blah, 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 but it removes the 12 event limitation and the 3 times within a 30-day period. That captured what you're thinking.
It sounds like by the nature of the CUP, in order to be admitted to this site, you would have to be a member and bring your dog with you.
Correct. Right. We didn't want it to sort of like morph into something that was not that, right?
Like a big party with no dogs.
Yeah.
Or just dogs.
But what if
Or
it
just
was,
dogs.
what if it was 12 midnight on the indoor space and 10 in the outdoor space?
You mean the dog park itself?
Yeah. For special events at night.
Why?
Well, I mean, my thought is that this is a use that is not creating a lot of noise. It's not creating a nuisance. It's certainly an appropriate use for that street corner. It's better than the alternative that we've had there for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So there's also not any, I mean, they're not residential units adjacent to the property. They're all on the other side of Ocean Park, which is a very wide boulevard. You have probably more noise coming out of El Torito in the parking lot than is being generated by this. So they're not asking for additional time. If we want to give them longer hours, to me, that wouldn't be, that would be, I'd be totally fine with that. It wouldn't be negatively impacting the neighborhood one way or the other.
So I got a question for the commission, which is, if we are extending the hours, which you guys are making me more and more comfortable with, why do we need the special event at all?
So that they can do things, like Jing just said, that are a little different than the regular outdoor assembly things.
Well, isn't that
But it all
condition of its public use?
It all requires them to be members, and so what if they have their Mother's Day event in the evening and it goes till 11? I mean, having to clear conditions is a pain, and if it's duplicate and not helpful, then I don't know why we would leave it in there.
That's a good point.
Okay.
It's a club.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
But
Well, let's hear what staff has to say on that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, is it on? Again, so the condition 1 is, it says allow a community assembly use through the establishment of a membership-based dog park with ancillary food and beverage service. If they wanted to have people that came that were not membership based, it was more of a public event or something, and they, seems like they've operated events like that over the past year that are kind of maybe open to the community or what have you. This just gives them, the special event allows that flexibility. In addition, I mean, it was originally tied to hours, but if you don't want to tie them to hours, that's fine as well. But I think we just wanted to make sure that there was the flexibility to do something like that wasn't literally the words there, but is still that still complies with the conditions of the permit. So that's really why I think you would want to keep condition 3 in there.
Jim, it's interesting because Jim's point, I think, is right on, because how are you going to know it's a special event? And people are all members, so there's a table selling crafts made by women. Is that a special event, or is it just part of the operation of the dog park?
I mean, typically you only end up looking at the conditions of a CUP when there's a complaint or something goes wrong, and it's just a way for us to distinguish when a complaint is received, really. We're hopeful that we never have to go back and look at these things again, but it's just a way to, if there's questions about it, okay, no, they're allowed to do this,
Okay, so then staff is comfortable or to a point where they really want to see that in there. Let's leave it in there. Let's take out the 12 days per year and the 3 within 30, and then let's figure out what we're going to do with the hours of operation. And I think we need to tell, what are we going to do on Wednesday night? Sunday through Wednesday? What are we going to do Thursday through Saturday on the outdoor area? It should be.
I'm with Ellis. I think it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think midnight is fine, because my perspective is the more that corner is lit and activated, the better from a safety standpoint. And even if there's not people there, at least you have the option to keep the lights on.
Okay. All right. I've heard 12 consistently now, so I'm not going to ask that question again. Staff, are we?
The midnight, that was for indoor and outdoor? Just the facility in total? Okay.
So for the public, staff is editing the approval or the decision so that we can show that on the screen and everybody can agree to it. Any other comments, questions while we're waiting for that at this point? I mean, I'm just going to comment and say that it seems like a wonderful use.
Can I just say one thing? Just one, short.
I was trying to say something.
What? Go ahead.
Oh, feel free.
I just want to thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for a wonderful facility, and there's so many reasons why it is an asset to Santa Monica. The one thought I had, maybe we could talk at another time, is whether there could be some kind of sliding scale for membership based on income. And if that were possible, if there could be fundraising to make that happen, I think that'd be great. Thank you.
I had that exact same thought. I thought it was like private school for dogs, and maybe there could be a scholarship program.
Yeah, just to pile on that, I had that same thought too, and a thought that I had, and I don't want to get too far afield here, but perhaps offering discounts for folks who adopt.
To do what?
Discounts for folks who adopt shelter dogs, but
makes sense.
I think that's outside of the scope of what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just say what I was trying to say before is you guys are building community. And we come to these meetings. I don't know how many times we've been to these meetings, and there's not a big sense of community at times. It's more antagonistic. So we love the fact that you're bringing people together and that there is that type of camaraderie to the point where you have so many people supporting you. So whatever magic you've done, keep doing it. Okay, so up in front of us are the changes. Let's look at this and then let's.
Correct, yeah. Can you see that? I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can, so this is revised condition number 2. A lot of it has been struck, but it will ultimately read, general hours of operation for the facility with ancillary food and beverage service shall be as follows: daily 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Yep.
Commissioner, Vice Chair Raskin?
Sorry, just to clarify, is there a condition there about when outdoor garbage drop-off can happen?
I'm pretty sure there, yeah.
9.
You want to look that up, Steve?
Was that 9?
I think it was 9.
Yeah, if we're going to let them be open till midnight, I just want to make sure they aren't restricted from, say, for example, dropping off garbage when they close.
Condition 9? Put that on the screen there.
They're not permitted to generate maintenance noise. They're going to have to take the trash cans out very quietly unless we extend that to 12.
Yeah, I mean, so the last sentence in there says that there shall be no outdoor cleaning of the property with pressurized mechanical equipment during the hours 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. I wonder then if it makes sense to maybe extend that to give them an opportunity to clean up after they close later.
Well, they could take out their trash at 9, and if there's 2 more hours of trash generated, I think that's okay. I mean, trash disposal is really loud.
Well, I think he's zeroing in on the kind of the cleaning process, but I don't think I saw mechanical equipment there at all. It was spray.
Quiet.
It was spray cans. So.
Well, this sentence specifically says no outdoor cleaning of the property with pressurized or mechanical equipment.
So pressurized.
And that's
would cover it.
outside.
It's
This is inside the property.
Yeah, but they're spraying the grass at the end of the night, and they need to be able to do that at the end of the night so the enzymes can live through the
Right.
night, I hear. So we need to extend that to 12:30 or something.
Yeah, what kind of equipment are they using?
They were
I mean,
using-
I think
it's a pressurized spray bottle. I mean, I think you could fall into the pressurized category because
I think that's okay. Yeah, I mean, this is more like noisy pressure washers.
Yeah, I know,
maybe.
but-
Yeah.
Take out pressurized and just say mechanical.
fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't want the bottles, not that, well, they might have bottles. You never know.
Sorry, not to get hyper technical here, but God, could we say maybe electrically powered? Like, well, I don't know. I mean, anything's mechanical. I just don't want somebody to come back with an enforcement action, 2 years later and say your little spray bottle is mechanical.
Well, power washers.
Yeah, power washers. I don't know.
What about a hose?
But they had little,
That's pressure.
little pumps that,
Right.
yeah.
It has pressure in it, though.
This is not our technology.
Yeah, you guys, we're getting,
I think it's good. I think it's all right.
let's take out, I mean, I think you're being hyper technical. If it comes back to haunt them, you and I'll go out there and try to help them.
If you're still alive. You're going to be there for a long time. No, you're going to be there a long time. That's what I meant.
Thank you for clarifying that. I got a little worried.
And then this is revised condition number 3, which is special events may be conducted and shall comply with all conditions of CUP 23 ENT 0085. We just struck the
Perfect.
number of days. I think that's it.
Oh, I hate to bring this up. How about condition 16? It stops alcohol sales at 11 p.m.
That's normal, isn't it? Isn't that what
That's
we
pretty
always do?
typical because normally it would, if you said midnight, I mean, usually it's like 1 hour before closing is what the commission typically has done.
It's true.
You're certainly welcome to do something different, but
Nope, I just needed that reminder. Let's. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Can we have a vote, please?
Commissioner Fresco,
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton,
yes.
Commissioner Lambert,
Yes.
Commissioner Raskin,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolkien,
Yes.
and Chair Reese.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have a little more business to do, so if you guys could celebrate outside, we'd appreciate it. Yep. Okay, that's the end of agenda item 11. We're going to move on to resolutions. We have none. We did have a written communication. I hope everybody read this. It's about somebody trying to electrify their home, and they needed a piece of accessory equipment put outside, and some of our codes are creating problems with that. I don't think we can do anything about it tonight, but we should make a mental note of that and see how we can try to solve that as we're trying to electrify our world. We have nothing under planning commission discussion items, and at this point, I'm going to turn the mic over to Commissioner Tolkien for the adjournment.
Yeah, I just wanted to eulogize my friend who passed away on the 28th of September, Ron Goldman, architect, planner, longtime resident of Santa Monica, was passionate about development, maintaining a moderate development in Santa Monica. We were friends for over 50 years, and he'll be missed by the city. He was a voice, not always in alignment with what goes on, but certainly a positive influence. And he started a group of architects which was commenting on developments here in Santa Monica, which I belong to. And he always impressed me with his pragmatic approach to planning. I'm more of a dreamer, so anyway, Ron was 84, and fortunately he wasn't ill long. So, matter of fact, I saw him a month and a half ago, walking on Montana Avenue near his house. So I was thinking things are better, but you never know. Anyway, thank you.
Well, with that said, we'll adjourn in Ron Goldman's name. Good night, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you.